What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy J Reed for J Reed's Love of Cars. In this video, we are going to be talking about my experience of owning a C6 Corvette for over 10 years. So let's dive right into it. Now, as I said, I've owned my Corvette for over 10 years. It's gone from stock to highly modified. Now, let's just dive into the points that I know you're probably really interested in. You may be looking to buy a C6 Corvette. I'm going to assume that most people that are watching this video probably found it because you're in the market to buy a C6 Corvette. You've been on Facebook, you've read the Facebook groups, you hear people talking about stuff that goes wrong all the time, or maybe you have questions if it is even true. Because sometimes you can't believe everything you hear on Facebook. You can't believe everything you hear everywhere you read it, or so to speak. Well, I can absolutely tell you, there are certain things that you will read on Facebook groups that people are having problems from, and they tell you, yep, you're gonna have this problem, it's gonna happen. That is 100% true. I used to be one of those doubters of, yeah, everybody's just, everybody always talking about something, that ain't gonna happen to me. Well, it happened to me. To give you a perfect example, you read on the Facebook groups that there's gonna be on an automatic, you're gonna break shift cable. You're gonna be at some random place, probably a place you got no business being, and that shifter cable is gonna break, and you won't be able to put your car in gear or out of gear or nothing. You just stuck. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. That happened to me, and it was that incident that made me a believer to make sure I take care of things that people are saying will possibly happen, or at least to be aware. The good thing about it is, if you have the knowledge that it's going to happen and it actually does happen, you won't be alarmed to try to figure out what's wrong with my car. Because 9 times out of 10, you're gonna be like, shift the cable broke. Call the tow truck, stop playing with it, get gone. It's broke. Now, to get that fixed at the dealership, at least in Texas, it's gonna run you about $750. If you have mechanical skills, you probably can fix it yourself. If you go up to a performance shop, which I suggest, if you do not have those mechanical skills, take it to a performance shop. Because most performance shops are going to charge you by the hour. If they charge $160 of labor by the hour and it takes them 2 hours to do it, they're going to charge you 2 hours. If you go to a dealership and it takes them 2 hours to do it, but the book says it's 5 hours, they're going to charge you 5 hours. That's just something to know. And that really goes for anything that you're trying to get fixed or need repaired on. Go to a performance shop. If you go to a good shop, they're going to be a lot cheap. Another thing that you won't want to be concerned with is the torque tube. These cars are getting older. The bearings, the bushings, that stuff is starting to wear out. So you want to look, one of the questions you want to ask is, have the shifter cable ever been replaced? Have you ever had to do any repairs to the torque tube? You definitely want to do that. Have you ever had to repair your doors? Okay, let me rewind. What I mean by repairs the door, one of the things that go out on these cars is the door pad or either the latch. Both of these parts aren't that really expensive. The door latch, which is in the inside of the door, that don't sound right, not the inside of the door, but let me just show you. If my car is open, what I am talking about is this is gonna go out and you have to repair it. Or this is gonna go out and you're gonna have to repair that. I really hope that camera picked that up because I wasn't looking where I was pointing. But anyway, if you have an instance where you can't get in your car, one of those two things that probably need to be repaired. Start with the latch that you actually put your hand on to press to open the door, because that's the least expensive thing to try and fix it first. If that doesn't work, then you're gonna go to the actual latch that's inside of your door thingy. That part is gonna run you probably about $250. But you can fix it yourself. Just go on YouTube. But one of those two things you're gonna have to fix eventually. Another thing that you're probably gonna have to fix eventually that you really wanna pay attention to is the harmonic balance. The GM balancer is subpar. So you wanna ask about has the harmonic balancer ever been replaced? They say no, ding dong. Eventually, you may have to replace it. I don't care if the car got 50,000 miles, 60,000 miles. You may have to replace it. But the good thing about that is if you plan on modifying your car, such as getting a cam installed, you can do that at the same time. That's really not that big of a deal because most people, you're gonna do something. You're gonna do something eventually. Even if you say you're not now, you're gonna do something. But that's gonna be an issue. Now, let's move to the C6 Z06. People say it has the heads or you're gonna drop a valve. You will drop a valve. So you're gonna make sure that C6 have had the heads reworked or new cylinder heads. Ask for receipts too. Don't let nobody, because if you own a Corvette, they know you're gonna probably ask that, and they just gonna say, yeah, they fixed. So at least ask for a receipt of that, because that'll be a major issue if you drop a valve. I'm just saying, and that's not something that's not gonna happen or maybe happen or Pretty good chance it's gonna happen. So you got to be careful about a C6 because those are still going for, pretty expensive. So for someone to not have reworked the heads and you have to do it, you're gonna be coming out of a lot of unexpected money. I'm just saying. So those are just a few things that you will see on the forums or Facebook groups where people are saying they're going through or what to look out for. They're telling the truth. You better look out for this stuff. Now, have I really had that much to go wrong with my car? My car has about 66,000 miles, 2010. And I can honestly say just a few things have really gone wrong based on maintenance type of stuff, just wear and tear. I did have to have my torque tube rebuilt, but that's kind of iffy right there because my car is not stock. So you're going to increase that much wear and tear on it. I did have to fix the door latches. I did have to, what did I just say I did? I don't even remember. But I did have to do that. Another thing that you will probably have to fix, or you may notice once you get it, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to have a squeaky top. It's going to squeak every time you go. It's going to squeak. But that's an easy fix. Don't even let that deter you from getting it. All you need is some dielectric grease placed on the little thingies that the top sits on, and voila. I did it one time in the 10 years I've had it and have not had to put any more grease on it since. So that is a very, very easy fix. A very easy fix. Other than that, these cars are great cars. You really won't have, out of the length of ownership that I've had this car, I really haven't had that many issues, at least not enough to even talk about. And I abuse my car. I abuse it. I've abused it probably for about 8 out of the 10 years I've owned it. Any opportunity I get to race someone on the street or somebody wants some, I give it to them. I go to the track, I give it to them. And I really haven't had that many issues, knock on wood. Knock on wood. I've had more issues out of other cars in the past that weren't even abused at all. So my point in this whole video is, yes, there's gonna be some things that you have to fix or need to fix or going to come up. Just be aware of that. And, and pay attention to what you're seeing in the groups. Because one thing I noticed about the Facebook groups and when it comes to Corvettes, most of the stuff that people are saying is going to happen. There's a lot of knowledge in these groups because a lot of people are either mechanics, they've owned them forever. There's a lot of experience, unlike newer cars where people probably just bought it and then they trying to figure it out themselves. So they're just going by what they've read. A lot of these people are talking based on experience of ownership. Come on, some people own more than one or two because they love them so much. Now, another thing about owning this car for 10 years is, to this day, I still get the same amount of enjoyment of owning it from the day that I've got it. None of that has changed. Maybe it's because I don't daily. I don't know. But at one point, I pretty much did. I still get the same amount of enjoyment. So you won't regret the purchase. I know they're a little expensive still, but for the price and the amount of car you can get, with just a few upgrades as well. You got a monster. They're fairly light, but you just don't regret it. You will not regret buying a C6 Corvette if you do your due diligence. Because like I said, they're getting old, and sometimes people are getting rid of their problems because they beat it to hell and they don't want to deal with it anymore. So you guys still got to be careful, but you will get tons of enjoyment if you can purchase a C6 Corvette at a great price. Now, if I had to do it all over, I 100% would have gotten a C6 Z06. I'd have fixed the heads, got a cam, got headers, and it would have been about 550, 600 horsepower NA, sounding like a monster. And in reality, it would have cost less to make 600 horsepower than it did on nitrous with those same modifications plus nitrous. And it's a stick. Come on. You can stop right there. But anyway, this your boy. Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.